Next question. How did you create that guitar effect for the show? As it was super effective, and I would like to know if it's easy or possible to do. Plus, how did you establish that and what it should sound like? Because there was no budget to do the music, and because I didn't want to try to deal with a guitar player on every single thing, because it would have taken way too long, I sampled guitar notes, put it in a Kurzweil sampler. No. I modified a guitar patch in a Proteus. Sorry about that. In a Proteus sound module, and ran it through, I think, a Korg guitar processor. So I just kind of tweaked everything, and that became the patch that I used on every guitar sound on the show. Eventually, and especially on the songs, I was able to bring someone in, and he'd either double those parts, or I would do the rhythm, and he would do the lead stuff. Next question. Would you like to make a cameo appearance in the upcoming Power Rangers Megaforce? No. Or even in an episode of Hot in Cleveland or The Soul Man as maybe an extra. I'm in Hot in Cleveland. There is an episode with Don Rickles. This is a funny story. And there's a scene in a church, and I am sitting there at the organ playing the wedding march. Interesting thing about that, it's the first time I'd been on camera in years and years and years, and when I saw that, I went, oh, God, I've got to lose some weight. So since then, I've completely changed my body. I've dropped about 38 pounds. Not that I was fat, but I was like a fat, skinny guy. So I've dropped 38 pounds, and I go to the gym every single day, and I look completely different now. So I feel better about that, but if you see it, don't go, oh, man. Plus, I had to wear a suit, so I looked even worse. That's pretty funny. Soul Man, I am definitely going to try to get in something this season to do, some background thing. I'm going to ask if I can get into a bar scene or something. Next question. When singing a PR song, is it difficult to get the words out? Back then, was it difficult to get the words out back then or with redo? Do you almost have to scream the words out now? Yeah, there's times I have to go back and do a few lines, especially when I'm doubling them several times to make sure the words are all very clear. But I never really scream. I learned to do it at a very low volume. That was just kind of a idea I'd gotten years ago from listening to a Beatles interview when you hear Paul McCartney or John Lennon screaming, and it turns out they managed to do it in a very quiet way. So, no, I never really blew my vocal cords out doing that, luckily. Okay, next question is, what was your initial idea or thoughts when being handed Power Rangers in space? That's probably one of those things where they told me the new name of the show, and I came up with that melody really quick and banged that theme out. That was pretty easy, because by that point I knew exactly what they wanted. I knew what worked for the show, and it was pretty simple to do. Next one, Power Rangers Zeo. Did you compose the theme or just sing it as a duo? That's what it sounds like, as you are credited along besides Jeremy Sweet. Then it was probably a co-write we worked on together, or maybe he wrote the basic tracks on it. I can't remember exactly, to tell you the truth. Sorry. I'm not being very good with some of these old questions, am I? Okay, next one. You mentioned a while back We Need a Hero started as a piano ballad but was never used. Is there a chance that Fisher may do a piano ballad of that song with Kathy singing? No. She is not remotely into any of that stuff in any way, shape, or form, so to get her to do it would be next to impossible. Plus, she's very focused on her direction of anything that her voice is on. Next question. Would you ever consider composing music scores for blockbuster films with a composer or just singularly by yourself? The film world is a completely different beast than television, and those guys have paid their dues and suffered like no one else to break into that business. So there's such a huge selection of film composers that couldn't do TV or write a song to save their lives or write a TV theme, but they're brilliant at scoring films. So I don't know if it'll ever happen. If it did come along, would I do it by myself? I mean, I would do what Danny Elfman does. I would work out all the basics that I wanted, and then I would have a team of people to do all the orchestration and arrangements, and somebody else to probably conduct if there was an orchestra. Just, I would write the stuff. Are there songs for TV shows or games that you compose that some of us may not know about? There's been a tremendous amount of stuff, so the best thing to do is go to the website, ronw.com. That name, once again, is ronw.com, and check out the credits list there. The only games were back in the 90s, which were, one was Tamaguchi, another one was Ace Ventura Pet Detective, and then Monty Python, Meaning of Life, and Complete Waste of Time. But those are in old PC formats. I don't even think they're available anymore. Next question. If High Moon Studios plans for a third Transformers game sequel to Fall of Cybertron, would you be interested in creating music for the game, as the game tends to have a hard rock feel to it, as sometimes a mixture of an orchestral rock seems powerful and energized feel to it? I don't get that one, but I think it would be great to have your rock music touch. Even maybe something with Stan Bush would be great. Yeah, it'd be wonderful, and I would love to do a game like that. Will they call me? Again, the game world has that group of composers that are very specialized in what they do. They've established those relationships, and they're probably going to go with one of those people before they would with me. Maybe they'd have me do some sort of small track or something, but, we'll see. Next question. Ron, I was wondering if you do commissions. If so, would be happy to pay you for it. Music is amazing. Pretty rarely these days, mainly because I have 3 and possibly a 4th sitcom on the way. I'm writing the EDM stuff for Fisher and doing a CD with that, and I get called to do radio spots and other little various projects. So, I do projects if they are going to air, and if there's, a pretty substantial production company attached to them. But to just do stuff for smaller projects has kind of become almost impossible. Plus, writing songs and whatnot is very time-consuming, and the schedule just isn't there anymore. I'm blessed because I have so much work, but it's just not there anymore. Next question. I know it's at least a year away. Would you be attending Morphicon 4? Yeah, I would be glad to attend, but I'm going to ask them for a weekend spot. Last time they gave me Friday, and it was, a lot of people were just arriving in town, so it was a great audience, but I think it would be a lot more fun to do Saturday or Sunday. So I'll ask them. If they give me that, I'm there. Next question. If I do it, I think it'd have a great idea to have Jim Cushionary on the panel. Would he be interested? I could ask him. I don't know if he would be interested at all. Because basically Jim was just called in to sing on tracks. So I'm not sure he has much of a story other than, they called me in the studio and put the lyrics in front of me and I sang it. Which, his involvement with the show was pretty minor. So I don't know if he'd be comfortable with it. But I will ask him when the time comes. Next one, and if it makes any difference, Jim is said to be one of the top composers among yourself of PR music. I think Jeremy Sweet should probably get that. I think he did a lot, and Kenny Burgomaster. But Jim, like I said, he just got called in to sing on stuff mainly. I'm not sure what he wrote at all.